everyone, welcome to School of Scarlet. I'm so happy to have you here today. So today I want to talk to you because you are the chosen one. If you're watching this video, I can tell you you're in the right place, and it's no mistake that you're getting this message that you are the chosen one. But this video is going to be around things like the number 144, 100,000, whatever, or the number 444, 111, all of the angel numbers and synchronicities that you may see. It's also in an answer to a lot of the emails that I've received regarding things like solar flares, regarding things like solar flashes, regarding things like ETs, regarding things like angels, anything like that I'm going to be talking about here. It's no mistake that these things are coming into your reality. But what are they signaling to you, and how or what kind of approach should you have to them? That is what we will be discussing here. And if you miss this video, or if you don't listen to the end, you could get very confused in what is appearing in your reality, and you could go down very strange egoic paths, or believing and giving away your power to unknown beings that appear outside of yourself, but they really aren't. So I'm going to be talking about all of that here today. So stay tuned to the very end to gain a full understanding. So this is all coming from an email that I received about, I think it's around the twin flame journey, that there are supposed to be 144,000 twin flames in the world that will be connecting. Okay, so that's one thing I've gotten a question about, and it's a recurring question. It's a question that I'm sure there's lots of YouTube videos and things already out there about. The other thing that I've gotten a lot of emails about are about synchronicities. Why do they happen? I do have videos around that already, so if you can search in my channel, you can see that. But we're going to be discussing that here today, so if that is a question you have, you can also gain an understanding in this video. We're going to be talking about why we see angel numbers, why there are things like angels even appearing, or now so popular it is to talk about ETs, or even things like AI, or anything that seems like a form outside of yourself. Something that's signaling something to you, telling you something about yourself, or something that you feel threatened by. So many people are scared of ETs. So many people are scared of things like the development of AI. So we're going to be talking about that here today. So on that note, on that cuff, I want to talk about the new Apple glasses that have come out. I don't recall if they're called Vision Pros or Pro Vision, something around that. But anyhow, you put these glasses on, and mind you, I haven't put them on yet, but I get the idea from what I've seen demonstrated online, that you put these glasses on, and what begins to happen is that you see reality. You see everything that is your vision, right? That you would normally see out of your eyes. But it has a level of like fakeness to it, or it doesn't feel like it's totally real because it is coming through his lens, and it has a little bit of a crispness that, or like a color to it that apparently we don't naturally see through our eyes. So it does feel a little bit fake. And apparently different things can pop out. So you can pop out different apps, and I assume pictures and things. And so you'll see people kind of scrolling and moving their apps along because they're popping out. They can see them, we can't. Now, I want to propose something to you. Now, I see reality maybe a little differently than you do, I don't know. But in my reality, I want to propose to you that truly you are just this consciousness that's occurring in this moment here. And you're putting on these glasses. And what's happening is that that's all that's happening. It's really just the consciousness here, putting on the glasses. There's no outside appearances. You can imagine that in this case, when you put these glasses on, they're actually not projecting anything that's really outside of you. These things are only happening within the glasses. So I'm kind of switching it up a little bit for you to gain a better understanding of what I'm trying to express. So all you see is in the glasses. So let's say the apps that pop out in those glasses, they don't exist in the actual outside reality that we have, and we see this here is here. we can't physically have the app. It's just occurring within those glasses. So that's how I want you to really see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these images, these figures like angels, like ETs, like numbers that are occurring, like prophecies and all of this. They're not actually happening in this reality like this. They're all happening within your glasses, within your consciousness, and they're just being projected out. So they're essentially you. They're essentially just communication being expanded out into form to show you something, to tell you something, to teach you something, to not necessarily to teach you something because you're already whole and complete, but to show you something, to guide you something somewhere, or to have an experience of some kind, to create polarity for you. So all of these expressions are here essentially to create life for you, to create some excitement, to create something for you. So if you have experiences where you're seeing things like angel numbers, or let's start with the first question, that was the question about the twin flame number, that there's 144,000 twin flames in the world that will reunite. Okay, so this is just something being projected out. Somebody has said this. This is something that has been projected out in your own consciousness, in your own story, to show something to you, to either create a story around it, that you are one of these twin flames. You could latch on to this and believe that you are one of those twin flames, that you are going to be one of those 144,000. And you can begin to join all these twin flame communities, go down this rabbit hole, and doing all these exercises and things to become one of these twin flames that goes into union. What would have happened if you truly believed this story that you're asking me if it's true or not? You would have given away all of your power to basically a projection within your own mind, believing it to be real and giving away your whole life to it. If you want to do that, that's totally okay. But the majority of people that come to the end of that rope and realize that they are not a twin flame, or they've just suffered this whole time and it was not a truth, then they will suffer. But you can decide now if you want to go down that reality or not. Most of these realities are just stories that are appearing for you to engage with or not engage with. But the power that you have is choice, is intention, is focus. So do you want to focus on that story and go down that rabbit hole? So when I get the question or the email from various people that ask me these questions, the question really is, do you want to believe this? Do you want that to be your reality? Because you actually can decide. When we awaken to different consciousness that expand our view, we have more of an understanding of things. At the highest level, we understand that we are all things and nothing at the same time. But before we get there, we have these appearances of synchronicities, of angels, of guides, and things showing us things a lot of the times. And you can get lost and think that those are the things that you're supposed to worship. Those are the highest truths. Those are the things that are true because they are maybe so magical, so mysterious, or something like that, or they possess some power that maybe you think that you don't have. But you see, these angels, even when I get questions about, are angels real, or I saw an angel, or if I saw an angel, wouldn't it be true that the Bible is real, or this or that? Angels appear separately outside of any religion. This has nothing to do with that. Angels can appear at any time to anyone, and they are essentially an energy within ourselves that's appearing outside, like just like an app that would appear like it's projected out within your vision with those glasses on. When you are awakening your consciousness, you can imagine you have those glasses on and your mind is opening, expanding to more. And as you do so, you have more access to more apps, or in your own mind, it could be things like angels. It could be things like supernatural things that you've heard of. It could be spiritual leaders. It could be mystical people of the world, whoever. And those things can begin to appear for you in some way. And they're just essentially your own energy, which is formless energy, being projected out into the form. Now, how will you engage with that? Will you give all of your power away to that outside angel, to that outside religious figure that's appearing to you? Or will you recognize what is truly happening here? So I'm just sharing with you that a lot of times we get lost in believing all of these appearances that do occur for us. I'm not going to say that these people that have emailed me about seeing all of these angel numbers or seeing all these weird synchronicities or being involved in these twin flame unions, that they are wrong. I would never say that. As a matter of fact, I share that stuff with you as well. I've gone through that myself, and you can see that a little bit in my older videos if you'd like to go watch. I talk a lot about synchronicities. But synchronicities, if I explain them to you here, I'll explain what they are. Essentially, like I say, we are one consciousness. It's all happening here and now. There is no time and space. But the way that it appears, it seems that there's a time lag because we are appearing in what we call the 3D, which is form. And form is denser, it's slower. It takes energies of the masculine and feminine going together and creating a density of form that creates the appearance of what you see here. But what we truly are light bodies. We're truly not actual physical bodies. That's why everybody or most people believe that they are not the body, and that after they die, they live on in some way, whether that's a soul, a light body, an energy, whatever they believe it to be. But we are essentially not these bodies. These bodies are being created in density, in form, and that takes time, that takes energy spinning together in a certain level of balance to create it. And so what that would mean is if we are playing in the form, which we are, I'm playing in the form because I'm in this body and I'm talking to you. And in playing in this form, I'm creating through my words, through my attention, through my focus, through my imagination, like we talked. And in creating, it sends that energy out into what is everything, because everything is one. But for it to kind of manifest back into the form, it could be, I imagined, whatever it happens to be. You know, I imagined that I was on the beach, having a wonderful time with my husband. And I want to manifest that, and that's in my imagination, and that's what I've focused on. And so that's there. And I'm wondering, why isn't it showing up? I've done everything to manifest this thing. Why isn't it here now? So many people have said I can manifest instantly. How come my trip has not happened? It's been a year, it's been this, it's been that. Well, it's because it's already here. You've created it. You just have to know that it is coming. But it has been projected out, and it has to make its way back into form. And that takes a little bit of time, believe it or not. It takes what we perceive as time. Of course, it's not really time, but it's things coming into form. And so when you have a synchronicity about something, it is already your own consciousness that has projected that out at some point or another, because you're always creating, you're always doing something, you're always creating. So you've done that for yourself at some point, and this is now showing up in form for you currently. So it's just a sign of something that you've already put out into the universe that has made its way back into the form to show you something, possibly, or possibly not. But one thing it's definitely not meant to do is to take your power away and for you to worship it or for you to get lost in it. Things like crystals, you know, all of these things contain an element of grounding, contain an element of connection, of oneness, that we do have to connect and accept them at some level, but they are not to give us power. We don't go to them for anything. These things appear for us, come to us, are part of us, and we engage in a relationship with them, but they are not something outside of ourselves that we have to yearn for, that we have to chase after. These things naturally occur for us when the time is right, when we focused on it, when we've called it in. And so we don't necessarily have to go chasing anything. And that's why when I find people that are chasing after their twin flame, even though they don't have a twin flame, or they've just heard that they are one of these 144,000 and they're creating this story that they have to join this group or go out and find this twin flame at this place or do these things, you are essentially being led to a distraction, to lose your power in a story that's going to keep you on a hamster wheel of unsatisfaction because there's nothing there. What we can do is turn inwards into our own sacred heart and connect with that. When we have these experiences that seem outside of ourselves, let's say somebody does prophesize something over us, we have to use our discernment. We have to go within our heart and sit with that and see, does that feel right for us? Is that correct for us? What is happening? Or is this just a synchronicity I've sent out for myself as just a message, as a simple signal or message, or as just something silly to put me a smile on my face? Why does it have to be so serious? One place we can get lost in life is believing that things that are occurring to us are super serious or that are serious at all. Things that are happening are not serious, and they can change at any moment. And anything that you want to put your focus on or your intention on, you have the power to do that. And in doing that, you begin the creation of that within the manifestation of reality. And that will boomerang back at some point. So that is what is happening here. But I wanted to kind of address a lot of the questions I've been getting lately, because I think a lot of people have heard a lot of different prophecies. One other one that I hear about is about a solar flare that's going to be happening. I've gotten a handful of messages regarding hearing about a solar flare that's going to be happening sometime in April or something like that. And so different people have gotten this download, and different people have either heard this message or gotten this download. Now, I have not gotten this download, but I will share something with you. That if it were to be that there was a solar flash or something like that that would change the consciousness of this world, you would have to be ready and willing to accept that. We have the ability, we are in control of that. So if you connect with that solar flare and you believe that your consciousness is expanding or whatever you think is happening, then that's what will happen in your reality. That is the power that you hold with your intention, with your being, with your expression of who you are. Even here now in this form, you have that power to focus. So if you believe these things to be true, they will occur for you. Now, if you're not paying any attention to this, you may not even notice that a solar flare happened. And it could or it may not affect you depending on what you're doing or what you're conscious about or not conscious about. But these things may occur, they can occur, but it is really the biggest thing that you need to pay attention to is, what are you believing? What are you paying attention to? What are you putting your attention to and intention to? Because that is what will actually unfold for you. It's not what's actually happening in your physical reality. That's a manifestation of your own mind, your capital M mind. So you can't, the creation does not control the creator. I think I've mentioned this before with an example of Mickey Mouse. So Walt Disney creates Mickey Mouse and draws him, and he becomes Mickey Mouse and comes into form, and we see him on the television, and he seems very animated, and it really seems like Mickey Mouse is his own character and he's got his own thing going. But at the end of the day, Mickey Mouse doesn't jump out of the screen and tell Walt Disney what to do. It just doesn't work that way. So we have this flipped around the wrong way. So if we're believing the prophecies, or we're believing these outside entities or expressions or forms that are appearing to us to be God, to be the tell-all, be-all, then we have been lost. We can't give our light away, our being away to other things like that. And that's what essentially is called false idols. So even within teachings of Christianity, when they talk about false idols, when we give our power away to a rock, to a statue, to anything outside of ourselves like that, that is a false idol. And so many people are doing it. Maybe not so much in the form like in a statue, but they're doing it in their thoughts, in their beliefs, in their mind. And that's way more even powerful than sitting on your knees bowing down to a statue. In your mind, in your imagination, creating and focusing on these things, believing them to be truth, those things manifest into reality, and that becomes your reality. So we have to really guard our heart, like they say, guard our capital M mind. They are the same. They're similar. They're the same thing. I use it as a metaphor. Guard that, because that is essentially what is happening here, what is creating this reality. So circling back around to you being the chosen one, I want to share with you that you watching these videos, you expanding your consciousness, even if you don't understand this all the way, or if you're still believing that the form is to be worshipped or whatever you believe to be the case, you're on the right track. You are going to be sharing something with this world. We all do. So you have been chosen to be here and share something. And how do I know that? Because you're alive, because you're expressing, because you're in form, and you're showing up in this world. So if you're showing up in this world, you have something to share, and you have been chosen, and you've been chosen to share your light, to share your heart, to share love with others. And in doing so, that will elevate them to see the light within them, their own selves, and the love within their own selves, and see that they are their own truest true love. So this is all about returning back home to your own self, to your own sacred heart. And so I really encourage you today to begin to listen to your heart, to discern with your heart, even when you get these messages, even when you see these angel numbers, even when you think crystals or anything else is giving you some supernatural power. Discern with your heart. Dear one, you have it all. You always have. I love you all.